When does a house stop being a house and start becoming a tiny home? Well, a tiny home may or may not have wheels, as some are designed to act as a semi-permanent residence. Imagine setting up in someone's field or paddock, with their permission of course, and enjoying living a slightly less conventional lifestyle, paying a fraction of the overheads like rent or mortgage payments. Others are a little more permanent, embedded into nature to give the residents a reprieve from the city's concrete jungle. Interested? Here are 10 of the most innovative tiny homes and portable cabin retreats on the market right now.
10.
The first cabin is Natura from the Tiny Housing Company. This model offers way more headroom than other manufacturers. The big draw is that above the tiny home is a small second story that more than comfortably sleeps a couple, freeing up a ton of room downstairs for a larger kitchen and living area. The inside has over 180 square feet of real estate and looks exactly like your home does, except on a smaller scale. On the very top of the tiny home are a pair of adjustable solar panels, making off-grid living a real option for those looking to unplug. All you have to do is upgrade from a 1,000-watt system to a 3,000. Adjacent to the front entrance is a deck that can only be described as a drawbridge, ready to be dropped down at a moment's notice.
Nine.
The helenhard Woodnest is as calm and cozy as its name suggests. For anyone who's ever had the urge to live as the birds do, there's a cabin retreat in a Norwegian forest that is just 20 minutes walk from the nearest town center. The cabin itself is built and clad from timber. It is actually fixed to the trunks of living pine trees 20 feet from the ground below, with a timber boardwalk extending over the side of the sheer cliff to the front door. The natural timber feel is extended inside, with nothing but wooden knots and grains framing the fjord and surrounding mountains view as you sit and watch the sunset, feeling your batteries recharge as you immerse yourself in nature.
Statistically, the average person spends about 26 years of their life sleeping, and surprisingly, we spend 7 years of that just trying to fall asleep. That's 33 years or 12,045 days we spend in a bed. Eight.
Not everyone can afford to splash out on a luxury tiny home or cabin retreat. The Bivvi Cabin was built with sustainability in mind, with a small carbon footprint. It's fully modular and can be adapted to off-the-grid living without breaking the bank. Its portable A-frame triangular-type design is meant to be fit onto the back of a trailer and moved around easily, or alternatively, to be held up off of the ground by a small timber or block foundation. What was initially meant to be a wilderness hut for hunters to lodge while away has quickly become a welcome alternative to tents, caravans, and camper trailers. The cabin comfortably fits in a king-sized bed, and there is 10.5 feet of headroom from base to apex. The interior is finished the whole way around in tongue and groove pine, whereas the external is durable and weatherproof.
7.
Innovative tiny home company Wheelhaus offers a few different types of cabin retreats. There's the Wedge, a long narrow unit measuring 10.5 by 38 feet that fits in an amazing amount of stuff into just 400 square feet. A pair of bedrooms, able to furnish king beds, will sleep 2 couples. The inside is finished with floating wooden floorboards, dark timber furniture, and drywall, just like a home should be. There's a kitchen, including a dishwasher and oven, and cable provisions in the walls for cable TV and internet connectivity. The lookout improves on the Wedge by having a much larger covered front deck and a handy side entrance. More windows let in a lot more natural light and beautiful scenery. They also retain heat and are extremely energy efficient. It can fit modularly with other lookouts to create tiny homes with double the floor space.
Six.
The wild jungles of Costa Rica can be enjoyed in a more civilized way, thanks to the Art Villas Resort and their very unusually shaped Coco Pods. Each egg-like structure is surrounded by its own circular boardwalk that puts the greenery of the plants and flowers at your fingertips. The design brief was to create a luxurious nest. The series of 5 cone-shaped buildings are actually open terraces that blur the lines between internal living space and external entertaining space. The outer cone acts as a shelter from the weather, with a concurrent inner cone surrounding the sleeping area with mosquito netting. In between the two are beanbags, a stone bathtub, and an outdoor kitchen. There are plans to build a water slide from the Coco Pods straight down to the resort's main infinity pool.
Five.
The Ulmer Nest is less luxury-oriented and more focused on protecting the homeless from harsh winter snowfalls. The small timber pod acts as an emergency shelter. 2 prototypes have already been installed in the city of Ulm to protect those vulnerable from being exposed to the bitterly cold climate. These are perfect for those unable to sleep at a homeless shelter for the night if they have a pet dog, or fear of crime and violence from others. The one-person sleeping pod is designed to be a last point of call, a haven to spend the night instead of camping out on a park bench or huddling under a bridge. It's fitted with a solar panel that runs a heat exchanger, a fresh air supply fan, GPS sensors, smoke alarm, and a motion detection system.
Hi, I'm Allie, and it's Mind's Eye Trivia time. By looking at just these images, do you know what this is and where it's from? Leave your answer or your best guess in the comment section below.
4.
Sometimes it's not all about luxury and space. It's about enjoying the surrounding scenery every moment you can. The Immerso is a transparent roofed cabin that is only 65 square feet but offers an unrivaled glamping experience nestled at the foot of the Italian Alps. Holidaymakers can experience sleeping under the stars in relative comfort at an altitude of over 6,000 feet above sea level. The setup is fundamental, with a mattress, small side table, and curtains should the occupants need a little privacy. The structure itself is made from birch and plywood panels, which can be easily disassembled, loaded, and moved before slotting into each other again somewhere different. No building experience is required, and the only tool needed is a screwdriver to fix the front double door hinges.
Three.
Another one from Tiny Housing Company, the Carbon, is a mini home with a triple axle designed to hitch onto the back of a truck and move should the need arise. Amazingly, thanks to super energy efficient materials and design, the Carbon can stay warm inside passively without any external heating source. Fast-growing bamboo and marmoleum timbers are used to further reduce CO2 emissions and carbon footprint, with icing spray foam creating an airtight and moisture-free insulation barrier within the walls. A smart fan keeps air levels fresh and the humidity optimal, and plenty of windows allow sunshine in to warm the house. A bedroom and office occupy the short headspace area above the kitchen, living room, and bathroom. Also, all the appliances can be run on solar power alone. Truly off-grid living.
Two.
The cliffs of Portugal are a mecca for big wave surfers who come to these shores from around the world. The Yakusha Air is perched rather precariously on top of one such cliff and offers a small living space and cabin retreat for visiting surfers. The design concept set out to prove architectural improbability. A vast vertical wall is anchored into the cliff top and below it, rising up as a foundation to hang the 500-square-foot residence over the cliff in mid-air. Steps rise to the front door, carved directly out of the rock. The inside is practical, with half the floor space dedicated to a bed and sleeping area. The other half of the room has an adjacent bench, huge stone tub, and shower area for rinsing off the salt after a long session riding the waves below.
One.
If it's natural wilderness living you're after, perhaps a trip to the land of croissants, champagne, and escargot is in the cards. Lumicine has built circular 25-foot diameter residences deep within the French Alps, perfect for that tree change you've been looking for. The pod is set in two hemispheres. The outside takes advantage of a 180-degree view of the surrounding woods. The inside is set up like a luxury suite in a city hotel, with a queen-sized bed, complete timber cladding, and mood lighting. The back half consists of a toilet, shower, and small kitchenette. The glazing and curtains around the front are actually an operable wall, which can fold and retract back concertina style, so that nothing stands between you and the wild outdoors, only a few feet away. If you enjoyed this video, you could help us out by hitting the like button, subscribe, and keep up to date on future posts.